Hey, it's time for the Afentis. Sorry it's a little late. Had to finish making a build for it, and oh, was it worth it. As for how to get this thing, well, it's a lot. It's actually the same as it's been for the last few of these, honestly. Which is have a personal quarters, have a necromek and a railjack, complete the quests through New War and Veilbreaker, and then you can get it from doing call missions and giving 60 stock chipper. As for the Prime, well, same as any other Prime. If it's still in rotation by the time you watch this video, you'd find the relics and various missions. I would Google where they are at the current time because it's different weapon to weapon, and it does change. But anyways, after you have the relics, you crack the relics until you get the ones you look for and build it in the foundry pretty easily. As for crafting, the regular one requires 20,000 credits, 18,000 ferrite, 3,500 rubido, 1,200 cryotic, and 2 argon. And as for the prime, well, it's just the prime parts and 10 organ cells. As for base stats on the Afentis Prime, well, let's start with the unique trait. It has an alternate fire where you throw it, and if no enemies hit, nearby allies get increased reload speed, fire rate, ammo max, and minus 50% recoil. Killing an enemy within the area grants the buff for 40 seconds even if you leave the area. As for the actual stats, you have 0.833 fire rate, 4 magazine size, 1.8 reload speed, very high accuracy, it's a semi-auto, no possible punch-through, it's completely locked on it, 1 rivet disposition, 26% crit chance, 2.6 crit damage, 30% status chance, 40 slash, 120 puncture, 40 impact for a total of 200. For the radial attack, it's same crit, but it's 10% status chance, 5.5 range, 250 heat, 800 blast, for 1,050 overall, with 50 fall off and 0.4 embed delay. As for the throw, it's 40% crit chance with 3 times crit damage, 30% status chance, 55 slash, 165 puncture, 330 impact for an overall 550. I know that was a lot. As for my build, well, I kind of went the hybrid route, as you can kind of tell. I did lean more towards crit, but I do have a respectable amount of status on there for it. But anyways, as far as mods go, nothing you wouldn't expect. I do have viral damage on there. I did go with Vigilante Supplies instead of, well, any of the ammo mutations because, honestly, to my surprise, there actually isn't one that works on spear guns. If you couldn't tell, I don't use a lot of spear guns, although I do like this one. But as for the Arcane, I went with Primary Compression, which I have absolutely fell in love with. One of the new Arcanes that came out with the Jade Shadows Constellations update, couldn't remember the name for a minute, which is on aim times 0.2 explosion radius and plus 100% damage and 5.5% ammo efficiency for every meter radius lost. When I first read that, I was like, this is interesting. I was like, I might try it on the Exceltra because of the fact that it eats through ammo like a single pizza roll. But other than weird situations like that, I couldn't see it being good. But I figured, I'll give it a shot. I threw it on this thing, and oh my god, I've never been happier to be wrong. It is so good on this weapon. And it's actually started me down the road of testing it on a lot of AoE weapons, which, as I'm sure a lot of people are doing right now, honestly. But anyways, here's this build. As for synergies, there actually are a couple, but let's get the box standard one out of the way, which is throw it on Harrow. It's actually a wonderful spear gun for him because of the above average crit damage. So getting the crit chance from him is always good. As for the other one, well, I guess technically there's two here, so we'll break it into the two parts anyway, because it does matter. That is Styanax as a whole, which his critical chance increases with shields, and doubly so for spear guns. And of course, this thing is a spear gun, and funny enough, it is his specific spear gun, so it's kind of fitting that it works really well with him in particular. But anyways, the other one is Theros Lethality, which is a Styanax augment that increases critical damage on enemy hit, and again, doubly so for spear guns. So if you're running Styanax, this is definitely the weapon I would grab for the primary slot because, wow. Especially if you have that augment, but still just wow in general. But as for ribbons for this thing, well, I wouldn't bother. With it being one disposition, the ribbons aren't going to be particularly strong for it, and honestly, it's in a spot where it doesn't really need them. And I know the stats look like they say otherwise, but genuinely, with it being at one disposition, I wouldn't bother. And I know some people would sit there and be like, well, yeah, but crit chance and crit damage. I get that, but it's in a spot right now where it's doing that kind of damage without it. But also, if you really want that, like I'd mentioned earlier, throw it on a Harrow or Styanax, you know? Like, you can really crank this up better with one of them two than throwing a Riven on it in this particular instance. It's at a point where, honestly, if I happen to even just pull a Riven, I would just sell it because I don't really feel the need to try to squeeze that onto this build. I don't know. I will say if they raise the disposition by a couple blips, then I'd probably consider it, but I wouldn't be terribly worried about it, because again, it actually does quite well without one. So, closing thoughts on the Afentis. Well, the interesting thing about it is it was actually like the Aegret for me for a while before the Prime came out, where it wasn't necessarily terrible, but it definitely wasn't worth the wait, and it had a lot of glaring flaws for me. It was one that I basically just maxed out and then threw out afterward because I didn't really care for it. Granted, I didn't actually delete it from my inventory until the Prime came out because, you know. But anyways, I actually really like the Prime. It is my favorite spear gun, and I would argue that it's probably one of my favorite weapons right now. And I know people would clamber to say, oh, that's recency biased. I would argue different in this particular case. I do my best to try to look at recency bias and make sure that I'm not viewing things in that lens. And it's not easy, and sometimes I guarantee that I don't actually do that. Because I used to be the first person that, like, whenever a new frame came out, I'd be like, yeah, this is my favorite frame. I finally managed to train myself to stop doing that. And actually give it time and really see what I like about it. This is one of the weapons that I'd actually say that I am really thrilled about. And I will say a lot of that is owed to primary compression, I won't lie. That makes it so much more fun to use. But even without it, it does hit surprisingly hard. Compression just kind of takes it to where it needs to be. But, yeah, no. That's it, and that's all. Thank you all for watching. Get plenty of water, and have a good one.